What's going on, guys? This is Zach with Hook and Timber Outdoors. Just going to give you guys a fly tying tutorial today for a olive stonefly variant, basically a copper john with some lively legs on it. So lively legs is a product out of Pennsylvania. They make these rubbery legs here, basically for stoneflies. They make them in all different sizes. This one in particular is for 12 to 14 size. It's olive, like I said, so it's got 3 legs on either side, so 6 total. And we're going to be tying that on with a copper john variant. This isn't going to be using the UTC wire, the copper wire. It's going to be D-rib that I'm going to be using, so I'm going to show you guys how to do that. So we're going to go ahead and start wrapping our thread on our hook here. We'll start about halfway down on the hook shank, and we'll go ahead and get started. So got halfway down, we're going to go ahead and trim the excess off. And whenever you tie these, anytime you tie like a stonefly or anything that has biots on the end for their tail, you want to build up a little thread base at the very end. And what that does is it'll act as a barrier for the biots, so they'll actually spread apart, right? So if you don't, what they'll do, they'll lay flat up against the hook shank and they'll look exactly like this right here. So basically they'll just come off the hook shank flat and they won't extend the way that they should. So that is one of the reasons that we do that. So I'm going to go ahead and strip me off 2 biots here. I'm using black. I feel like black works just with just about anything, so I don't have any olive. But what I want to do is do it about 1/4 of an inch past the hook shank, and I'm going to tie it on the side closest to me and go up just a little bit to secure that down. So now that I've got, wrap it back up. Now that I've got that secure, I'm going to go ahead and start on the other side. You want to try to even it up as best as possible. Once I like what I have, we'll go ahead and tie that down. And perfect. Wrap forward a little bit, pull these forward, and we'll go ahead and trim off the excess. So now that we have that tied on, we'll go ahead and tie in our D-rib. If you'd like, you could use the copper UTC wire. This one in particular is a light olive that I'm using, so I'm going to go ahead and tie it in on the side closest to me. You always want to tie it on the side versus the front, or on top. Pulling it tight, getting it tight, so there we go. Let me wrap a little bit more up. So what I'm doing now is trying to build a base body. I should be using a little bit thicker thread, but I'm actually using Vivas thread right now. It's 8/0. I should be using a little bit thicker because this is going to waste a little bit more of my thread, but that's okay. It's not that much of a big deal. So what I'm doing is building a tapered body, and you want to taper it towards the bead, right? So you taper it towards the bead, you get more of a natural nymph or stonefly look, because the tail is always going to be the smallest. So I'm trying to get this tapered up, and once I get it tapered up, we'll go ahead and start running the D-rib up the hook shank. So let's see here. Almost done. Alright. That looks pretty good. So we'll go ahead and start wrapping our D-rib now up the hook shank. I try to let go of that. That's not what you want to do. You want to try to keep it as tight as possible. So that's what I was trying to do, but I accidentally let go. So we'll start that again. Keep it tight, going all the way up. And I let go just a hair a second ago. There we go. Wrapped around my thread. So we'll go ahead and capture this real quick. One in front. I'll do 1, 2, 3 in the front, on the back again, and on the back again. So that's 3 times on either side. You always want to do it in front, that way it sticks up a little bit. So I'll pull this tight and I'll get my sharp scissors and snip that off right there. So we're good to go. I'll do one. Some people like to do another one. Some people do like a little half hitch, or take your whip finish tool, kind of like this right here, and whip finish once or twice. I'll do twice, you know, just to say I did it. So I'll wind my thread back up. What I'm going to do is come back about halfway right there and take some finno skin, and this is some finno skin here, and this is what we're going to use as the casing for the shell pack. So I'm going to go ahead and tie this on top like so. And we'll take it about halfway down the hook. And wrap it forward. And now we're going to go ahead and use our lively legs. Now we're going to go ahead and use our lively legs. Like I said, this is a size 12 or 14. And let me go ahead and get one out of the package. We'll throw one on. So this lively legs right here. This is the 3 legs on either side. The ones that curve up face towards the bead. So this is the front that you need to place. So you'll place this on top. You'll wrap it around front, right up against the bead. One right behind the front legs, one in the middle, and then one right behind the middle legs. Then I'll wrap another one behind the middle legs, go in the front, in the very front, and right behind the hook a couple times. And now we can go ahead and cut off this tag end. So the tag end's cut. We can lift up the extra 2 legs in the back that we're not going to use, right? So we'll cut this up, pull this up, and cut that off. Now, typically whenever you use these lively legs, this is a size 12 hook, and we're using the size 12 to 14 lively legs, so you only want to use the 4 legs, so 2 on either side. If not, we're going to start getting back down towards the end of the body, and that's just not going to look realistic. So generally we'll try to use just 2 or 4 legs. Once you get into the size, 10, really more so the 8, 10 and 8 was whenever you need to start go ahead and using all 3 legs, and then it looks a little bit more natural, more so like a full-grown stolen fly. Excuse me. So now that I've got my shell back here, we're going to go ahead and wrap our thread back a little bit, go in the middle, and then tuck it right behind those back 2 legs. Now what I'm going to do is take some ice dub caddis green dubbing, and this is what it looks like if you can get a nice view of that. So this is just dubbing. We're going to dub it on the thread, get it nice and dubbed on there. We're going to wrap it behind the legs, behind the leg closest to the camera, and then my side of the camera, of the back legs, and then wrap in the front. I'm going to tuck the rest of the amount of the dubbing on there. So now we got the middle thorax perfectly dubbed. So now I get to wrap in front of the legs right here, tie off my shell back, which is this right here, and then we can go ahead and capture everything off and we'll finish the fly. One in front, pull the legs back, wrap it around the front of the head, pull my shell back up, capture that off, pull this back with the legs, wrap right behind the bead 2 or 3 times. I pull the shell back. There's a couple different ways. Everyone likes to tie differently. This is the way I like doing it. So I got 3 in front, 3 behind, right? So now I'll pull one more in front. I'll leave everything on there. I'll take my whip finish tool and I'll go ahead and whip finish. Make sure you pull everything back so nothing gets captured. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Always want to pull your thread tight. A lot of people like using super glue. I'm not a big fan. I mean, I use it sometimes, but sometimes it shows up white on the thread or up underneath the body, and it doesn't look natural. And so I don't really use it too much. So we'll go ahead and cut off this shell back right here. Got that cut off, and that's our fly. What I'm going to do now is just trim off a little bit of the extra dubbing that gets caught, just to make it look a whole lot more natural. It's too hard to get the dubbing just perfect, so we'll go ahead and just trim off the excess just to make it look good. So once we have the way you want it to look, which I think this is just about ready. There's one straggler right there. I'm going to show you guys the finished product. That right there is your Lively Legz Olive Copper John. There's the underbody of it, and you can see, I don't know if the camera's going to pick it up good, how the legs are, and as well as the tail. The tail comes out as a V instead of coming back together. So that's how you should tie it right there. Alright guys, well, that's all I have for today. I appreciate you guys taking the opportunity to watch my video. So if you could just take a moment and go to my YouTube channel, maybe like, subscribe to the video, and we'll go ahead and get some more content for you guys. Thanks for the time. Hope you guys have a good day. See ya.